Hello everyone. Today we are going to continue with fisheries. So as usual, a data point, what are the issues or the challenges, and then solutions and also initiatives along with way forward. These are the things we are going to cover for this as well. So we'll see the data points first. So first thing is 6.72% of agricultural GVA is from fisheries. So around 7% is from fisheries, okay. Gross value added is 7% by fisheries. Then compound annual rate of 8.9% between 2014-15 and 2022-23. So it is increasing in 8.9%. Supports approximately 30 million people. So 30 million people are kind of employed. So you can remember at least one point, that is it is adding for 7% of GVA. So but what are the problems? Marine capture fisheries, inland fisheries, culture fisheries and other problems. So marine, inland and also culturing fisheries. So and we have other issues as well. We'll see what are the problems here. So under marine, we have limited expansion scope. There is no much scope here. Inadequate infrastructure. So as we have seen, infrastructure problem is prevailing everywhere, even in fisheries, marine capture fisheries as well. So wastage and traceability issues. So we have to use technology moving forward because we have a wastage and traceability issues. Then skilled manpower shortage is there. So always when we talk about society, we mostly talk about awareness and human capital formation. So again, skilled manpower is not there. That means human capital formation needs to be done. So when you come to inland capture fisheries, there is seasonal operation, depleted stocks and obsolete technology. So these are the problems. Then we have culture fisheries. In that diversification is also kind of less, okay. Other issues, productivity problems, credit issues, infrastructure gaps, technology, manpower shortage, similar points. So these are the issues. And what are the way forward? Horizontal expansion is needed. That means untapped areas, brackish aquaculture, cold water fisheries, pond aquaculture reservoirs, canals, ornamental fisheries and recreational fisheries. For this ornamental fisheries, recently a scheme also got launched, that is Rangeen Machli, recently last month. So these are horizontal expansion that we can go for. Different sources we can look into, that is brackish, cold water fishes and this pond aquaculture, reservoirs, canals, ornamental fisheries, recreation fisheries. All these are the fields. Vertically, how can we do? Diversify the species. In fisheries also we have different species, right? Diversify it. Integrating farming system. This is one of the important key we were talking about. Integration is very important. And organic aquaculture. Also go for ecosystem restoration, where we'll be using riverine fisheries and conservation of indigenous sources. So even when we are talking about livestock, we were facing that we don't have indigenous cows. It is having a decreasing rate, right? So we have to focus on indigenous resources even in fisheries, okay? When it comes to marine fisheries enhancement, deep sea fishing should be there, and mariculture is one. Open sea cage farming, fleet upgradation. So if you can't remember everything, not required. At least for every subheading you remember only two. One is deep sea fishing and mariculture. You can also go for open sea cage farming and fleet upgradation, okay. When it comes to organization and economies of a scale, so then fisherman into FEO or fisher village into VPO. That is like FPO is farmer produce organization and VPO village level, okay. So then we have forced harvest infrastructure problems. For that, go for modern markets. We have seen that market integration, cold storage, processing plants and public-private partnership. So then also go for e-marketing and e-trading. And then we have read about extension services already, like Sagar Mitras. So as to be given as an awareness knowledge. So those are some of the way forward. If you see the initiative, we have National Fisheries Policy 2020. Okay, Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana is also there. Then we have Fisheries and Aquaculture Infrastructure Development Fund. We have seen this Infrastructure Development Fund even in agriculture. Now for fisheries we have separate Fisheries and Aquaculture Infrastructure Development Fund. Even for credit you can go for using Kisan credit cards. And Sagar Parikrama initiative is also there. Okay, these are some of the initiative you can make use. So then if you can see this, we already seen the models for integrating agricultural practices like fisheries and horticulture. Now we'll see horticulture, how it is there. Okay, 40% of agricultural land and it contributes over 33% to the agricultural gross value added GVA. So 33% is by horticulture. India is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables globally. So this is one of the easy point to be remembered. India is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables globally. So if you can use such statement or data points in introduction, your introduction will be very much value added one, right? So it is the second largest producer and exporter of spices as well. Even in spices, vegetable, fruits, India is standing globally second. So then what is the importance of horticulture? High value crops like replacing 1 hectare of staple crop with horticulture crop can boost annual income by 80,000 rupees according to Dalwai panel. So whenever you talk about agriculture, you will be talking about Dalwai panel. So Dalwai panel also told if you replace 1 hectare, you will be getting more income of 80,000 rupees for that 1 hectare if you replace it with a staple crop. Okay, so it is economical also. Then we have nutritional security, of course, fruits and vegetable nutrition, employment, and boost secondary agriculture as well. But there are certain challenges. So pre-production, production and post-production challenges, it goes similar only. One is high input cost, low productivity, quality of seeds or plantation materials are not there. Production, during production, what are the problems we are facing? High capital, long cycle like apple, guava and all, old and senile orchards, low planting density, poor canopy management, rain-fed cultivation. If you can't remember everything, at least remember high capital is required, it is rain-fed, and long, it will take a long harvesting period, and manpower also it requires more, right? Then we have post-production. What is post-production problems? Inadequate for post-harvest facilities, mismatch between facilities and production growth, unorganized supply chain. We have read about supply chain, lack of trained extension services. See, all these are repeated points. If you can practice once and you can be able to use it multiple times. Okay, that is a problem in post-production. So strategies to boost the horticulture production, increase output through productivity. So whatever problems we have seen, for that we have to give the solution. Productivity has to be increased, expansion and resource efficiency. So financially we should be sufficient. Diversification and market access should be there. Cold storages, supply chain management, quality and technology, horticulture practices awareness should be there, and also skill development should be happening. Okay. Next we can go with horticulture and millets. Now we will see. Mission for integrated development of horticulture is there. So under this we have National Horticulture Mission, Horticulture Mission for North East and Himalayan State, Central Institute for Horticulture. So under Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture, we have 3 other missions. Okay, national level and East and Himalayan State level and central level. Then we have Horticulture Cluster Development Program. Then we have Project Chaman. So if you can mention 1 or 2 initiative, your work is done. Then we'll see millets. India role, largest producer, one key term. India is the largest producer, 20% globally, 80% Asia-wise, India is the largest producer of millets. Top producers, India, Nigeria, China. China is 55% of global production. So, this is the one. Then we have types of millets. So, you should be knowing types of millets. In that, two types are there, major and minor. Major are sorghum, pearl millet and finger millet. Minor, foxtail, little, kodo, proso and barnyard millets. You don't need to classify, but at least you should be knowing some of the millets name. Sorghum, pearl millet, finger millet, etc. So then we have millet revolution in India. We know we have announced as International Year of Millets also, but we'll see according to this. Millet revolution in India. Health and environment benefits are there. Millets are beneficial in SDG, right? Health, nutrition, environment protection. Then we see revival of traditional practices so that you will be elevating poverty. Support small scale farmers. Again, poverty elevation will happen. So these are the same points. Benefits of millets: nutritional, agroeconomic, and public health and sustainable agriculture. The same points again and again we are mentioning, but with a different subheading. But in exam hall, if you know data point, that is one thing. Issues or challenges, and then initiatives, way forward. For everything, if you can remember two data points, 4 challenges, 3 initiatives, 3 or 2 initiative, and some 4-5 data points for way, not data points, way forward points, which are similar like integrated farming, comprehensive policy making, this kind of thing, right? Supply chain management, extension services. The similar points if you mention also, your way is done, your work is done to get the full marks, no need to bother much. For mains agriculture chapter, okay? So the same thing. See, nutritive properties, high protein, dietary fiber, micronutrients, antioxidants. Then we have gluten free. It is gluten free and low glycemic index. Okay, you can have this word even for prelims. It is gluten free, right? Then agronomic characteristics: drought resistant, suited for semi-arid areas, short growing season. So in some like horticulture, we were thinking like it's a long growing period it has. So you can have a combination of millets as well. One is like short, one is long, so that you will be having an alternative income also. So this is one of the model we can also propose in the way forward. Then we have low water requirement. So water save also will happen. Public health and sustainable agriculture addresses public health and promotes sustainable farming. Grown using traditional environmental friendly methods. So similar points as we have mentioned before. Next we see in depth about millets. So constraint, what are the challenges in cultivation? Cultivation problem, so yeah, we have seen the benefits, but there are certain challenges also. Decline in cultivation area. Area reduced from 41 million to 15 million hectares. So the area itself got reduced. So then we have low yields. It is labor intensive and limited marketing is there for it. So if we can make marketing facilities and all better, we can again regrow it. Then we have serial offtake in PDS, public distribution system. So 54 million tons of cereals in PDS. Then replacing 20% with millets requires 10.8 million ton. So we require more content. That's why one of the problem. Low productivity, stagnation in sorghum, pearl millet and other millets. Lack of awareness, one of the key. Whenever we talk about society, what we will talk? Lack of awareness and human capital building. Yes, if you see lack of awareness, less than 10% household consume millets. Consumption concentrated in specific states. So high cost, limited availability, perceived taste, like taste wise also it not be so much. Agricultural challenges are there, low yield and low profitability discourages the farmers. Competitive from rice and wheat, right? Shift in food preference towards rice. Focus on food security, not nutrition security. So we are focusing on food security, so we are going for rice and wheat rather than nutrition security. So hereafter, at least in our policy making, we should be talking in with respect to nutrition centric policy making. Okay, so that might be the way forward we can write. Lack of government support also is there. Insufficient government promotion and procurement through National Food Security, this thing, right? NFSA. Then we have taken certain initiatives also. One is National Millet Mission. Price support scheme is there. Development of value added products. Inclusion in PDS, public distribution system. And then promotion of organic farming. APDM, strategy for export promotion. Then according to this, if you see MS Swaminathan Research Foundation, so they also taken certain efforts, that is yield enhancement effort. Collie Hills Agro Biodiversity Conservers Federation, small scale mechanical milling, introduction of pulverizers and delulers, branding and market links, and community seed banks. These are the recommendations even from Research Foundation of Swaminathan. So these are the some of the points you can mention. So at least you mention National Millet Machine, PSS, inclusion in PDS, and mention MS Swaminathan Research Foundation's recommendations or the outcomes from it, like yield enhancement effort, branding and marketing links, community seed banks. So some of these points if you can retain and put up on the answer paper, your work is done. So prepare for mains perspective. Understand the concept, prepare for the mains perspective, okay? We'll see way forward. Support small farmers in hilly regions and dry lands. So this support should be reaching to the intended needed, right? Like reaching the last mile. Or the benefit should be given to someone who is in need. So we also should focus on small farmers and who are in hilly areas or dry region, plains, etc. Awareness should be there. Availability and accessibility should be provided, and also should make affordability. Processing value added products should be encouraged, and foster collaboration among farmers, processors and marketers should be there. Collaboration, as we already spoke, collaboration, CC, collaboration and cooperation are very important. Then we'll see major cropping patterns. What are major cropping patterns? So one is monoculture. What is monoculture? Single crop. Farming practice where only one type of crop will be grown. Example, Punjab, wheat and paddy constitute 84% of the total area planted to all crops. Approximately 84 to 85% we can say it's wheat and paddy. So monoculture simplifies farm management. Specialization in single crop will be there. Improving efficiency, reducing labor requirement. These are benefits. But we have issues also like soil depletion, reduced crop yields over time, right? Increase the risk of pests and diseases, growing dependence on chemical fertilizers and pesticides. These are the problem with monoculture. Then if you can focus on factors influencing cropping patterns. So what are the factors? Resources, technology, household related factors, pricing factors, institutional and infrastructure reasons. So if you see resource related, we can have natural resources, land, water availability. Based on that we will go for crop, right? And if you see technology, what are the new innovation that are able to adopt those kind of crops we are growing. So crop technology based, okay? Household related, like food, are we going for growing for food and fodder, or are we growing for export? Based on those factors. Price related, so that income realization, market dynamics based cropping also is there. Institutional and infrastructure factors like government policies, MSPs, irrigation infrastructure, etc. Based on all these things, we will decide what crop to be grown. So variation across farm groups and regions. If you see, there are certain variations. What are these variations? Smaller farms, larger farms, irrigated and well connected areas. So now we see what are smaller farms. Food self-sufficiency is the focus here. Investment constraints are the challenges. Okay, large farms, they are going for economic consideration based on crop pricing, right? Then we have irrigated and well connected areas like for commercialization and market networks. Changing importance of our factors over time, and these factors are changing, not we have already seen some factors. Okay, see, these are changing on different basis. Economic factor growing, driven by irrigation expansion, infrastructure and rural market. Technology, short duration, drought resistant. Based on this also cropping patterns are changing. Okay. Then crop diversification, we'll see what are the benefits. So benefits is, if you have a many crops growing, risk management will be there, soil health will be taken care, pest management, income stability, nutrient management, water management, biodiversity, resilience, market opportunity, social benefits. Only this much if you memorize also, you can write all the answers with the same points, because these are the point again and again we are repeating. So it is very important. Take out your pen and paper and sit and practice for this number of points only, at least for benefits or way forward. This much will be sufficient for you. So practice this. Right now take your pen and paper and sit back and practice these many points, and you can use it in multiple different ways in multiple questions. Yes. So we'll see in depth about crop diversification now. So now we have to understand, that's the only thing we have here. We have different types. Improved structural diversity, genetic diversification, diversity field with fodder grass and crop rotation will be there. Polyculture, many together. Agroforestry, trees around and crops. Mixed landscape. Micro watershed based diversification. These are the different ways we can do. Then challenges associated with the crop diversification. Again we have a similar challenge. Investment, market challenge, labor cost, technical expertise, risk. You can read again and again the same point and put out in a different wordings. But these are the points we will be mentioning everywhere if you see from the first chapter to till now. We'll see globalization and crop diversification. So WTO and GATT impact. Liberalization pushes diversified agriculture because market is there. Export opportunities are there like basmati, spices, tropical crops and sericulture. Now export opportunities are more. Emerging marketing demand is also there for quality and nutritious food. When you talk about nutritious food, we can focus on millet diversification also, right? So the same points. So if you want to mention case study, you can just go through this point and read. At least one case study you remember for crop diversification. Cerrado region, Brazil. It used a crop rotation. So you can mention this much only. So or you can go for Midwest, United States. Crop diversification with crops like clover, rye and oats. Or Sunda region, Indonesia. Again vegetables, papaya and banana, rice. So you can mention one of these as a case study. So that's all for that. And in crop diversification, some other points if you see. Central initiative, state initiative and global initiative. Because it is such an important point to overcome your poverty and have a nutritional security, environmental issues, as we have seen one table where we have a lot of points. All those positives are there. So Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, again and again we are reading this scheme. So National Food Security Mission, then National Agricultural Insurance Scheme, Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. Multiple times we would have read all these points. State wise if you see, AP zero budget natural farming. We read already what is zero budget natural farming, we know. Then we have Sujala Watershed Development Project. So in Karnataka. Punjab Crop Diversification Program. Then Mera Pani Meri Virasat Haryana. If you see global level, we have Conservation Stewardship Program. And we have Sustainable Agriculture and Food Systems Funders. Organic Agriculture Promotion Program Philippines. African Orpan Crops Consortium. These are some of the global initiatives we have taken. Way forward: limit MSP procurement, support alternative crops, crop insurance, crop credit, infrastructure development, incentives, diversification, incentives for diversification, private sector investment, or we can go for the PPP model, public-private partnership, water resources management. All these things are the way forward. Now we talk about PDS and the food security from it. Food security and public distribution system. So there are 4 pillars in food security. One thing, first it should be available. Availability should be there. Affordability should be there. Then nutrition is important. I was speaking about nutrition centric policies should be there, right? Then stability has to be ensured. So it's A square NS. Affordability, first availability should be there, that should be affordable, and whatever we are affording should have nutrition and that should be stable. So for availability we are going for MSF and MSP, that is minimum support price, and we are also giving subsidy for fertilizers. So affordability we are going for TPDS and NFSA. Then for nutrition we know, right, ICDS we are using. For stability we are maintaining buffer stocks of grains. So if you see the growth in food management, in 1964 Food Corporation of India, that is Food Corporation Act FCI, has been established. 1997 Decentralized Procurement Scheme and Targeted Public Distribution System PDS, which is targeted in 1997. 2008 Private Entrepreneur Guarantee Scheme under Department of Food and Public Distribution has been developed. 2010 Warehouse Development and Regulatory Authority and 13 National Food Security Act NFS, National Food Security Act. This is the growth. We started from Food Corporation Act to Food Security Act. So but there are issues. Storage issues, distribution issues. To store, buffer stock storage problem, double stored grains problem, and norms problem. Above norms it is. Then distribution, leakages are there. 40 to 60% of PDS grains are getting leaked according to NSSO report. Okay. Corruption is there. High expenditure cost for food subsidy bill and rupees 2.05 lakh crore in the financial year 25. Okay. So if you see the structure, Food Corporation of India, procurement at MSP, and then it gives to states, and PDS through fair, according to public distribution system, through fair price shops, it has been distributed to the public. This is the structure: procurement, transportation and distribution. So next we have on restructuring PDS. We have seen already there is leakages, corruptions, etc. We will see how can we restructure all these things to come out of the problem. So if you see procurement, so procurement, food grains purchase should be there, economic cost components, pooled cost of grains, procurement incidentials, and cost of distribution has to be determined. Issues in procurement, if you see, open-ended procurement it is. skewed cropping pattern, single like very less cropping patterns, lack of diversification. These are some of the problems to procure also. Okay. So what are the suggested reforms? Decentralized procurement system. States with experience like Punjab, Haryana, Andhra Pradesh, they have done it. Payment in procurement. Negotiable warehouse receipt should be there. Quality check should happen. Reduce state government commissions. Then state government's additional bonus should be given to avoid the excess procurement. And PM Asha. This scheme has to be implemented properly. If we see buffer stock, issues in buffer stock is lack of coordination, political influence on MSP, market oversupply, open-ended procurement. See, this word is important, open-ended procurement. Need for excess grain liquidation, lack of automatic liquidation rules. So economic implications are also there, artificial scarcity and inflation. So artificially created scarcity is a problem. Wasted capital and higher economic cost of a food grains. Results, wasted resources, export competitiveness. So what is the solution? Santa Kumar recommendation. Shanta Kumar. Okay. Food Security Act, strategic reserves, forest currency reserves sufficient for import. These are the key points to be considered in our PDS according to Shanta Kumar recommendation. See, if you are explaining in a normal language, it looks so simple, but when we are writing on paper, we will be not able to get the right words. So here in this series, we are practicing for right words and also learning what kind of structure to be followed. So with that, sit and practice every key point and at least 2 initiatives. So under solution, we have Shanta Kumar recommendations. Also, proactive liquidation policy we should take up. I want you to comment out what is liquidation policy and what is proactive liquidation policy means. Considering import occasionally, reduce import duty. So occasionally we have to import also. For that you have to reduce some import duty and storage should be there. Regional import strategy should be taken care. So also in storage we have issues, right? Shortage of storage capacity is there, lack of scientific storage and double the storage as per buffer norms which are making the grains to rotten. These are the issues. So to overcome, we have outsourcing grain storage, that is central warehouse corporation, state warehousing corporation, private sector. Then we have contracts like 20 years. Modernizing storage facilities like convert cover and plinch godowns to silos or silos. Mechanizing is important. Using robotic assessment is important. System digitalization, as we also seen for land and data. So now we should be end-to-end computerization is needed. Online tracking. Regional storage capacity has to be increased, like North, East and Jammu Kashmir storage capacity for 3 months should be increased. So improved transportation. So see, all these are the steps. Outsourcing, then storing, then having a record. Again we will be going for transportation and distribution, and this should be properly implemented. It's a step by step. For that they are giving a way forward. So if you see advanced distribution to beneficiaries, distribute 6 months worth of ration so that those grains will be not wasted in your godowns. Cheap grain bins for storage. See. Then proper implementation. For that we have certain acts like Essential Commodity Act 1955 and Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, Mega Food Parks. These are the schemes that has to be properly implemented so that there is a proper distribution and food grains are not getting wasted in the godowns, or we can reduce the storage. So employee structure, if you see, mechanize operations again, streamline officers, like reduce zonal and regional officers. Intermediate salary be reduced, okay. anywhere intermediaries should be reduced or collaborated, and e-governance modules can be taken up. Staff reduction or like voluntary retirement scheme can be implemented. Private sector executive for top positions should be given as an opportunity. If you see transportation, 46% food grains diverted in transportation itself. So tracking should be there. Security measures should be taken care. Infrastructure development and packing, all these things should be taken care as a way forward. Inaccurate identification of houses, it's a problem. 32.2% ration called to consumption poor. So 32.2% it's for poor. 67.8% to consumption non-poor. Okay. Exclusion and inclusion errors are there. 40% non-poor included, whereas need for improved BPL census methodology is needed. So someone like 40% are non-poor. So those are included, but someone who are in really need, they are kind of not included. So we should be improving the BPL census methodology. Social exclusion and lack of awareness is also a problem. So causes of leakages, we know this, ghost card. Because of it, black marketing. And we know shadow ownership. Also diversion by FES owners. So these are some of the problems. Corruption basically. Food subsidy, difference between economic cost and central issue price should be seen. That is there. The difference is there always. Reimbursement covers MSP, procurement and distribution cost. So that's a burden. So burden also increases. Non-viability of fair price shops. 39% fair price shops generate positive net income. 8.3% fair price shops are viable. Only this much. Low commission rates for dealers. Commission rates are very less. Irregular opening hours. So when they are opening, when they are closing, it's also irregular. Long queue for beneficiaries. So if you see in front of fair price shops, it will be a huge queue to collect their grains. So you can use this data, 39% only for positive net income and only 8.3% are viable. So those are some points about food distribution system and fair price shops. Now we'll see in depth about Food Security Act. So if you see, fiscal year 2023-24, according to revised estimates, the economic cost is projected to 3,931.34% per quintal for rice and 2,709.59 per quintal for wheat. This is what is the spent data, okay? Evolution, targeted public distribution system, as we have seen this already. Next, Antyodaya Anna Yojana 2020, National Food Security Act 2013 and PM Garib Kalyan Yojana. This is how we got evolved. So you have to memorize this. So we started with targeted public distribution system. Even before that we have seen Food Corporation of India and all, right? So we have already seen the evolution. Now we'll see the features of it. Procurement and pricing. Union government will procure, right? Procures grain at minimum support price, MSP. Sell grains to states at central issue price, okay? It will sell to state by from the central issue price. So this we have central issue price regulated by National Food Security Authority, cannot exceed MSP, should not be more than MSP. So quantitative allotment, distribution based on number of beneficiaries. Based on that, how much to allocate, it will decide. Beneficiary selection, states shortlist beneficiary for subsidized food. Then state will do this shortlisting of beneficiaries. Coverage of beneficiaries, rural it is 75%, urban 50%, includes APL and BPL both. BPL and APL both. Not only BPL or not only APL, both, okay. You can note as a data point, rural coverage is 75%, urban it is 50%. It includes targeted public distribution system, integrated child development services, midday meals as well. It includes all these three. Food Corporation of India, that we have National Food Security Authority or Act under that, okay. Okay. Features, under feature again we have responsibility of union and state. Union procure and allot food grains to state, we have seen. Supervise fair price shops and then provide food allowance if stock insufficient delivery issues are there. So allowances will be provided. State, it will identify the beneficiaries and then transport and delivery of food grains to beneficiaries. So we already read before, just summarizing here. Pricing for food grains. Rice 3 per kg, wheat 2 per kg and coarse grains 1 per kg in rupees. So nutritional support for specific groups is also there, like for women, particularly pregnant and lactating women up to 6 months post birth, okay. Then we have free meals at Anganwadi centers. Children 6 to 14 we have free meals at Anganwadi centers and schools also. We have midday meal scheme, right. Grievance redressal mechanism is also there. Under that we have food commission, state food commission, district grievance redressal officer will be there. Call centers and helplines are also provided. Then we see right to food under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. So it is also coming under Article 21. Then if you see issues, now comes issues. Myopic definition, narrow focus is there. Only cereals are included. Excluding pulses, oil, mostly consumed. Fruits, very important. Vegetables and also milk. Nutritional security, then quantity, we have to focus on quality. That is not happening. Essential nutrients also kind of missing. Goal to progressively realized that implementation delay is there. Optional goals are there, right. Federal issues like entitlement limits, state burden, coverage caps are there. How much we are covering, that cap is also there. Grievance readdressal, under that also implementation issues, state food commissions and district grievance officer issues are there. See, you can just write a policy level, institutional level, then you can write implementation level, these problems as a issues. Convergence issues, we have lack of integration and different departments are there, so we have to go with the cooperation. That should be the way forward, okay. So convergence issues also are there. High fiscal burden, of course we are giving for very less cost, so insufficient food grains is also a problem. And there is exception of section 44, and I want you to comment below what is section 44. So way forward, holism. So holistic approach, integrated approach, NFSM objective should be considered. Reduce beneficiaries. First, for that we have to assess again, survey again. Targeted assistance should be there, and little bit higher price also can be made based on the dependency as well as the necessity. Other reforms, technology integration, GPS, tracking, EPOS, etc. And then reforms in TPDS, that is Kaushik Basu committee says grievance redressal should be there, licensing priority and doorstep delivery should be maintained, transparency should be maintained, even the accountability. These should be the way forward. So then we can go for MSP. So if you understood MSP, mostly we are covering most of the topics. Introduction to minimum support price. So purpose is safeguard farmers and their interest. prevent distress sales mechanism, government declaration and purchase assurance. We know this. Nodal agency, Food Corporation of India. Very important to note this key. Implementation, who will implement this? State agencies, specific agricultural product based. Okay. So next we have MSP versus income support. Advantage of income support is direct income transfer will be there than like purchasing at minimum support price, and we can avoid the market distortion and also support all farmers equally and also encourage crop alignment, and even they can go for crop diversification because it is direct benefit. Examples of income support schemes, example are Kisan Samman Nidhi, direct transfer is there, and in Telangana Raitu Bandhu scheme. But there are certain challenges in this, that is fixed payment, lack of differentiation. There is no link to crop choice or a effort. You can't compare, you can't control which crop to produce. Farmers' preference for price stability, which will be exposing them to high risk. So then methods to ensure minimum support prices, mandatory payment by buyers. Similar to fair and remunerative price for sugarcane, there should be a mandatory payment. Challenges in enforcing payment, those are one thing should has to be addressed. In government procurement, direct purchase by government is happening. Physical and fiscal sustainability issues are there. Price deficiency payment, government pays the difference between market price and MSP. So this is their price deficiency payment is also method of MSP. Example, Bhavantar Bhugtan Yojan Madhya Pradesh and Bhavantar Bharpai Yojan Haryana. Benefits are less distorting and targeted assistance will be there. So what are the concerns or the challenges? Import dependencies are there, unequal benefits of MSP, and then WTO obligations, market inefficiencies, neglect non-price factors and policy challenges. All these factors already we have discussed multiple times and you can put on the same points. So yeah, this is again repeated. MSP new formula for MSP, that is cost of production basis. Based on that we can give MSP is a new formula, that is MSP set at 1.5 times the cost production. So whatever cost of production is there, 1.5 times is the MSP. So Swaminathan panel recommends 50% margin over cost should be there. That's why 1.5 times. Reduced CACP's flexibilities. Then cost concept debate is there. A2 cost, actual cost of production plus imputed value of family labor. This is one of the concept. And cost C2, that is A2 plus imputed rent for owned land, also interest on the fixed capital. These are some of the concepts we have on the cost. Farmers union demands are also there. That is legal guarantee of MSP and also 50% margin over cost C2. This is the farmers' demand. Still we don't have legality for MSP. That is what farmers are requesting for. And there is a issue even in the formula, that is market dynamics. You can't predict. And deficiency in price payment also. Gap between the market price and MSP and fiscal sustainability concern. Also WTO compliances. We have seen above. So it is only 10% de minimis limit. De minimis limit is there. So impact on exports. High MSP versus open market price can affect export competitiveness, right? Yeah. So progress in new MSP regime is government adaptation. BJP government accepted Swaminathan panel recommendation and 50% margin over A2. Family plus family cost labor, that has been accepted. Current procurement, central government procurement of rice and wheat is there. and expansion efforts, coverage extended to more states and crops. We have seen crops also list already. We have seen what are the list of those crops in current affairs module. Just go to that playlist and have a look into it. Then difficulties in managing MSP for 23 crops nationwide. That is one of the problem. So if you see argument in favor of legislation of MSP, so there are certain economic benefits, agriculture benefits also. So if you see economic benefits, boost farmer income, guarantee income, higher spending power, and stipulate economic activity, reduce fiscal deficit, aligning private prices with MSP, reducing government burden. So then if you see agriculture benefit, it also promotes crop diversification and matches production and demand. Whereas issues are operational and economic implications are there, and nationalization of agricultural trade, that is one more issue. We'll see. Limited coverage is there, only 23 crops are covered, which is 28% of agricultural output. Challenges in perishable products like fruits and vegetables. Procurement concerns are there. Market price discovery and crop production plans. Regional suitability and profitability. This is where is land is getting desertified, right? Expansion cost, high cost for support, procurement and federal finance strain. These points and all we discussed in the previous chapters as well. Yes. Nationalization of agricultural trade, that risk of government purchasing entire surplus if traders are not bound. So this is one of the problem which is going to affect fiscal stability of a nation. So recommendation by Swaminathan Commission we'll just see. For minimum support price, avoid delays in announcing MSP. So announce before kharif crop season. Okay. Improve MSP implementation across the region so that regional imbalance will be reduced. Consider MSP as a baseline for both government and private. Even for private, MSP should be the baseline, so that there will be no problem. Even private sectors will buy the goods or procure the goods. Government procurement should include MSP plus cost escalation. Agricultural trading, if you see, recommended for promote futures and options. So trading supervised by SEBI. And today's current affairs, it talks on SEBI's reforms on options and forwards. So just have a look into that current affair. Okay. Farm schools. Under that also establish farm schools to promote innovative farming practices. Aim to set up 50,000 farm schools nationwide. So farm schools is one of the key recommendation. Grain and food security wise also there is a recommendation. Established grain bank. We were reading about seed banks and all. Fertility bank. Now grain bank should be there. Community food and fodder banks also. Promote farmer insurance and soil testing labs. So soil health card also we should be encouraging more. Contract farming. Develop a code of conduct for contract farming to protect the farmers. There should be CC, code of conduct should be there. Encourage farmers organization to negotiate contracts. Even cooperatives. So some of the things. These are about MSP recommendations by Swaminathan Commission. This is all about agriculture chapter. If you could have followed the complete series from first module to till 8th video, you would have been completing your complete practice for agriculture, and you will be prepared so that you will be able to take some sample question and will be able to answer as well. Again go through the series and practice. Sit, pause, practice. Okay, and then take out the question. Use the similar keyword whichever we noted. So remember, for every topic there should be a data. First you should be understanding the concept of the complete agricultural module. That is, we have pre-sowing, during production, post-harvesting. These are the problems or inputs or the overall theme of agriculture we should be focusing on. So from there we'll understand data points. For every data point there should be 2 sub-points for every topic. Then you should go for what are the challenges? To overcome these challenges, what are the initiatives taken by government? And then what are the way forward? If you are writing 2 data points, before even that you should be having the understanding of question based on the 2 data points. One is on challenges, 4 points. Then you will be writing on initiative, at least 2 initiative, 2 to 3 initiative. And fourth one, way forward about some 4 5 points. If you write, your 250 words are done with a value loaded answer. So that's all for the chapter agriculture. We'll start with a new module from next session onwards. Have a good day.